the girl on the beach. I come here often to sit and think. Mostly the thoughts are not really my own but those that haunt me. Each time I end up coming to ocean's edge watching the water rush toward me, then rush back out, only briefly wetting my feet. It sort of reminds me of the relationship I had with my ex. It's odd how when we look back we can see things a bit more clear than we had going through it the first time. For me, I knew something was not right. Perhaps I was naive or just a hopeless romantic. Either way, it destroyed me. One day I met him, the one I later called my love. The one who was supposed to mean everything in the world to me. The one who was supposed to lay down his life for me. The one who was supposed to protect me, and make me feel happy just at the mere sight of him. My love was someone who wasn't the most handsome person on earth. I told myself looks didn't matter. My love had much insecurity about him. I told myself who's perfect, it doesn't matter. My love was selfish. I told myself we just met, I can't expect him to be so giving just yet. My love was silent. I told myself he could be the strong and silent type, not a bad quality in a man. My love was a snappy dresser. I'd only ever seen him in a suit and tie. Most men catch a woman's eye when they're all dressed up. My love was a proper man. I told myself I was pleased he didn't have hands like an octopus. I was young then. My first, real, serious boyfriend. The others were just mere first dates and nothing more. I was in search of the one. I didn't know what he would look like or how he would act. I just knew he would be the one I'd marry and spend the rest of my life. Little did I know the heartbreak and heartache I was soon to embark. If only I could have seen then what I can see so clearly now. I'd like to think my life would be different. What I know now but what I blindly observed then is I constantly waited for my love. Waited for him to kiss me. He didn't greet me with a kiss as I'd seen most couples to act. No long, lingering embrace either. My naive-like self told me it's because I was a virgin and too much kissing could lead to other things and I had not wanted to become one of those girls. We'd hold hands, which at the time I took as a sign that he loved me, because every time we walked anywhere he grabbed hold of my hand. Unfortunately, I did not see it then. As I see it now, it wasn't a sign of love after all. Actually, it was his controlling me, controlling the speed at which we walked. I was the type of girl who liked to stroll along with my love, making every moment a great and everlasting impression. Realistically, he had once claimed I was pokey. At the time I had no idea what it meant. The term escaped me as I was familiar with the term pokey, as in a slang for prison, but it was puzzling to put it together, trying to figure out what he had meant. I wished then as soon as I got home from that date I would have picked up the dictionary to search what the word pokey meant. Because knowing it means being annoyingly slow or dull would have been like a slap across my face. I would not have taken it lightly and would therefore have been on my toes as to what else this man found annoying about me and tried to otherwise control. I didn't see the many tricks and head games he played. Why hadn't I seen it? Why had I not seen that little by little he was taking the best parts about me away, destroying them forever? Today I see it plain as day. Then my brain seemed to fog over with a power so great I was love blind. The very sad part is there wasn't just one sign, there were hundreds and hundreds that this guy was all wrong for me. I recall one date we traveled to his hometown, just an hour away, though a place I was totally unfamiliar. We were to go to a town fair. Growing up I'd gone to several with my family, but never with a boy. I remember walking around the fairs as a teenager. I was smitten in seeing other girls my age walking around the fair with their boyfriends. They'd play a game and win something for their girl. He'd hand her the stuffed animal, and she'd kiss him, right on the lips. I fantasized about being in that position one day, and finally, here it was, like a puppy love type dream come true. I could only wonder if he'd play a game to win me something. I was hoping deep down, crazily hoping, but not letting it show in my eyes or on the outside what my fantasy was at that moment. We arrived at the scene, hearing the screams from the rides section, the loudspeaker announcements from the farm animal section, and music playing in another. We walked quite a distance from the car. It was late evening, a good hour from it becoming dark outside, and suddenly as we were in the middle of the park-like area, away from anything in particular, my boyfriend said to me, "Wait here, I'll be back. There's a few guys from school I want to see." Like a fool I stood there, felt his hand slip out of mine, and in a few steps he was out of my view. I looked around. I knew no one. I knew not what to do. I stood in that very spot for 5 minutes. He hadn't returned. I was not annoyed as many women would be at this point. I was beginning to become frightened. I received stares from people. They must have been wondering why I stood in the same spot, just looking around. I didn't want to spin around. I wanted to keep my eye in the direction in which he left, in hopes I would be seeing him returning soon. A half an hour passed and still I stood there, alone. I was frightened. I could not figure out what was going on. Was it a big joke? Was he mugged, stabbed, killed? I didn't know where the car was parked. I didn't know who to call other than the police, because I would be lost. Many men approached me, acting as if I was a girl of the evening, trying to pick me up. I was embarrassed, but also frightened. An hour later he returned. He said nothing to me, only grabbed my hand and yanked me to go wherever he wished to go, which was to get a Coca-Cola, and then we left. I tried to ask him where he had been for so long. I tried to tell him I was worried. I tried to tell him I was frightened. He wouldn't talk to me about it. He kept changing the subject to something else. In other words, he never apologized for his behavior, he never discussed it, merely changed the subject, telling me where he was taking me next, that it was a big surprise and that I was going to love it. Therefore, I figured whatever he was up to was all about this surprise and I ought not ask any more question or it would, in fact, ruin the surprise. This is the end of part 1. Please come back to hear more in the next part of The Girl on the Beach. Thank you for listening. Bye.